G'day guys, Viv here again. Welcome back to the next part of the City Fight tutorial. How to make very simple yet effective City Fight terrain. So this is where we got to before we finish up. In this next part we're going to see how we can add some very simple details to the building before we get on to painting it. I will do a couple of different tutorials on how to add detail to the buildings, but in this one we're just going to look at the very basics, stuff that everyone can do nice and quick and simple and very easily. So thanks very much for watching so far, and I hope you enjoyed this next part. Okay, so just running through the materials very quickly once again. We still have our materials that we had from the first part here. Our utility knife, our blade, our pen, spare blades because we'll need them, a nice long ruler and a shorter ruler. I've got my spare bits of foam core or cardboard there. I have my building that we started with. I have some of the pieces that we cut out of the windows, etc. We're going to use those pieces. And I've got some square balsa wood here. I don't know what diameter that is. I'll measure it in a minute and let you know. Now I'm going to use this. You could also use strips of your foam core, and I'll talk about that more in a minute when we get into it. And I have my hot glue gun as well. Okay, so what we're going to be doing in this part is adding our detail like I just mentioned. I'm going to use this balsa wood here. Now this balsa wood that I'm using is 7mm square. Now this is stuff I just had laying around, so I'm going to use this. You can also pick this up from craft stores, hobby stores, etc. Some hardware stores like Bunnings, etc. I'm sure Walmart will have it. They seem to stock everything under the sun. I always recommend trying to. Yes, it might cost you a little bit of extra money, but go to the specialist stores, go to your local game stores, go to your local craft stores. I know they might be a bit more expensive than Walmart or Target or Kmart, etc. But they're the people that keep our communities and our economies strong, rather than these great big massive corporations that buy everything from China and Taiwan. So if you can and you want to support your country's economy, shop locally. And that includes buying things online from websites, etc. You might want to buy miniatures, etc. Always look locally. Yes, it might cost you $1 or $2 extra, but at least the money's staying inside your community and is going to be of benefit. So that's my community service announcement. So this stuff, I'm going to cover this gap here by putting my beam in that gap there. So that's what the square bit's for. Now you could use strips of your foam core or strips of cardboard or something else that's square, or you might come up with an alternative. I don't know where they are at the moment, but sometimes, and I will do this in a couple of other buildings, you could put a rounded edge on this, kind of like a straw or something like that. Sometimes mind blanks come. You could put a straw in there to represent piping or a gutter pipe or something like that, drainage pipe or something coming from the roof that has been destroyed. So I'm going to cut these strips and sit them inside there. So firstly I just need to measure my gap. Mine is centimeters, 14 centimeters. So I'm going to make mine just a little longer. I'm going to cut mine at 15 centimeters. So I measure out my 15 centimeters on my ruler. And with my utility knife, I just go through and make my cut. With some of the balsa wood, you might find that you have to do several cuts. Now when you make your cut, if it's jagged on the top, don't worry about that. We're building a ruin. So I'm going to go through and just cut a couple of pieces. We only need the one, since we're doing a corner, we only need one of these. But I'm just going to cut myself two of them. It's a little bit damaged, broken, lovely. I like damage that happens accidentally because then I don't need to do it later on purpose. So I'm going to use this piece because it's got a nice bit of damage to it. And then into my building I simply just glue that beam. So I've got my hot glue gun here. I'm just going to run a bead of glue down the middle here. And then position my beam in that gap. Let that set, and there we go. We've got a little lip on the edge of the building now. So that's the first part of adding some detail to the building. The second thing that we're going to do is use the window pieces that we cut out of our building to add some little window ledges at the bottom here. Not all the buildings have these sorts of ledges and stuff. There are a couple of ways you can do them. One, you can just glue a strip of this. Let me just cut a strip so you can see what I'm talking about. Probably about 5mm, half a centimetre wide. Again, you'll need a sharp knife to do this. And then on the outside, you can glue that piece of window ledge. One other way you can do it is to put your window ledge inside your window. So I'm just going to cut this to size. So you want this one to be about 1 centimetre. So I'll just cut that, I'm just freehanding this. And then I sit that inside my window ledge. So now I get a ledge on the outside and I get a ledge on the inside. If you're going to do that, your measurements for your windows will have to be a little bit different, because when you sit a miniature behind here, you're cutting out space for him to be able to see. So for this example, I'm not going to put it in the middle. I'm just going to glue them on the outside here. So I'm going to go ahead and just run a small bead of glue down that gap there, and then take that and just stick it on. Now you can see a little bit where my hot glue has beaded up over the edge. That's fine. Once it's dry, we can cut that back with a sharp knife. Your window ledges, you can make them however thick you want. I think that's probably just a little bit thick, but excuse me, you can always take these things off and redo them, keeping in mind that it's a rule, and if we break one off, it's going to look fine. So I'm going to break that off, and instead of sticking it on like that, I'm just going to clean up that glue. And I'm going to glue it the other way. Put a bead of glue on there and stick it on the bottom there. So I'm just reusing the pieces that we've cut from the first part of the tutorial, just to add ourselves some detail. So I'm going to go through and add those to each of the windows. Now, there's tons of different ways for adding different details to your buildings. Ah, shit. Getting old, bones are hurting. So I'm just going to go through, cut this real quick and simple, just so we don't end up with another 25-minute video like I did before. Ah, shit. Be careful with these hot glue guns. Whilst the glue does dry and you can peel it off, it does hurt a little bit. I'm a little bit of a crybaby, so the smallest things that hurt me, I have a good whinge about. So just adding a little bit of detail on the side there. I'll do these other two windows. If you don't have a hot glue gun, go and get yourself one. If you can get one, if you can order it from the net, and you want to make terrain, the hot glue gun will be your best friend ever. It makes these sorts of projects so much faster, so much easier. This one I picked up from a local hardware store. It was $25. I probably could have got one cheaper from somewhere else, but they're my local business, so I went to support them. So I've just glued a little bit on there, and once that's fully dry, I'm just going to shave that away a little bit. So like the whole window ledge has been broken off. So there we are. A few little things that we can do to add a little bit of detail to our buildings. If we wanted to, we could go through and do the inside of the windows with their ledges. I'm just going to leave it like that at this stage. Excuse me. I'm not going to base this. I'm going to leave it as it is. I will base some of the other pieces later on. I just want these to be versatile. I want them to be quick and easy. I want them to be able to throw into a box and not have to worry about a big plate on the bottom and having to arrange them. These I can just chuck into a box and wedge them all into each other, and I mean, it's quick, it's simple, it's nasty terrain, but it's going to do us for our game. So there we go, guys, adding a quick little bit of detail to one of our buildings. In the next part, you'll see me paint this, and in the subsequent parts, after we've finished off our basic piece of terrain, I'll go into more detail about how to add some more advanced detail to the buildings here to get a reasonable sort of effect. So that's where we are for this part. Thanks very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.